Birds of Prey is directed by Kathy Yan and stars Margot Robbie. Also produced by Margot Robbie and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Rosie Perez from White Man Can't Jump and Pineapple Express.
I haven't seen her in a long time. Since Pineapple Express.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And also Ewan McGregor. And in this film, it's the 8th film in the DC Extended Universe that features Margot Robbie reprising her role from Suicide Squad as Harley Quinn, and it deals with her being dumped by the Joker, and she ends up trying to basically try to find a new solace in her life and being independent and everything, and trying to basically, find a way of avoiding the life that, well, not avoiding the life, but like doing things on her own, away from the Joker. And along this way, she comes across various other characters, including this little girl that's a pickpocketing people, and she ends up finding out that this girl ends up stealing a diamond that's part of Ewan McGregor's character, who would be known as Black Mask.
Yeah.
And along the way, it also involves with the story involving a cop, Renee Montoya, who's played by Rosie Perez, who's on the case trying to find out what's happening. And then you have also another story involving where Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, Huntress, is having to basically has her own deal going on that we'll get into, kind of go into more spoilers separately about, but she has her own idea that has a history with Roman.
Basically, everybody pretty much,
farce, basically.
Everybody has their own little story in this.
Yeah, it's a farce in that style of like everyone's all comes together, so to speak.
Basically, overall, in the end, these girls have to form up to take on Black Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's a little backstory. Now, if you've been following our channel, we've talked in length about how we've discussed with the DC Extended Universe and how DC in general has have all these different movies that have come out. And like we said, it's been hit and miss. There are some great ones that I've enjoyed, and there's been some ones that aren't as good. But overall, I think that this universe that they've set up, I think that if they really find their ground in the future and trying to, keep it more conclusive, I think things will get really back on track.
I'm hoping they do, but I mean, we're not going to stick too much on the topic.
Right, but
if you know that DC, the fucking universe has been really messy, especially when they were losing stars playing certain roles, like we lost Ben Affleck, and Henry Cavill doesn't even know if he wants to come back. He does, but then he doesn't, and he does, and then Jared Leto, the unpopular opinion of how no one liked him as the Joker's got him kind of pretty much feeling down and wants to leave the role. Yeah. And it's just, and not only that, just tonally, the films, one was dark, the other one's trying to be campy, and it's just
trying to be, be lighthearted.
Let's just say DC Extended Universe don't know where it's going. So they're just making movies as they go.
They're making standalone films at this point, which I don't disagree with. I understand they because in the last couple years we've been seeing more solo films that stick with more of that style. Aquaman, Shazam last year was fantastic, and upcoming we have Wonder Woman 84. So if they're just sticking to these movies and not really focus too much as far as like building crossovers and stuff, I think that they'll probably get to a better ground in the future when they do eventually.
Honestly, I think because they got such a later start compared to Marvel's, I think that they were trying to fight the competition. Right. And really, they rushed the universe too fucking fast.
I can agree to a certain extent, yes.
They rushed it because they felt like, okay, they're doing their Avengers. We need to do our Justice League. Yeah. Oh, hey, they're doing this. We got to do Batman vs. Superman to try to rush everybody in. And those films ended up kind of, that's whenever I felt...
It was a little scattered.
That's when the shit storm started with DC.
Yeah, but with this movie coming out, it got me really interested because, well, given for what it is, and I'm of the unpopular opinion, I actually loved Suicide Squad despite all of its flaws, and one of my biggest highlights with that movie was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and I was anxious to see what they would do with her coming back in the role.
I will say this, I'm actually with the other people. I actually found the film to be okay, heavily flawed. However, the only really main thing that really kept me invested in Suicide Squad was Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. She is Harley Quinn. She is the perfect fucking choice. And other than that, man.
Well, and you also had Will Smith as Deadshot.
Yeah, he was interesting. There was people that were interesting, but Harley really was.
Well, yeah, Harley stole a lot of the scenes, but
I personally, like, honestly, wasn't really a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker. He wasn't nowhere near as bad as that fucking Jesse Eisenberg's take on fucking Lex Luthor.
But yeah,
anyways, getting into this film, like I said, if I was to rate, because we had a different rating system back when we did Suicide Squad. If I was to rate it, it'd probably be a high average Joe for me on this, because I had too many flaws with that film. But you know, I'm gonna give this film a shot. You know, I love Margot Robbie as fucking Harley Quinn. She is great. So, you know, upon seeing this film, I will say that it's hard to describe. Found the film to be good, per se. I think I might like Suicide Squad a little bit better.
I am kind of like, it's weird for me because like
I feel like this film has a lot of flaws that I was having issues with. And I felt like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's good. I'll get into my pros and cons to kind of separate what bothered me and what didn't. So I found the film to be good. Just good.
It's fine, basically.
Yeah, fine. Like, above okay, but I expected a whole lot more out of it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I was entertained, and I'm on the same kind of level like I had with Suicide Squad, but but to an extent, I prefer things a lot better as far as like overall arcs in Suicide Squad that I kind of preferred a little over this. Yes. But that's not to say that there are interesting ideas they have in here that I'm interested in.
Yes.
It's just that the way that the story kind of paid itself out, I was a little more like on that interesting level, so to speak, with Suicide Squad. But both films, I think, are on the same level for me. So with that, they're about the same.
That's the thing. I may like Suicide Squad a little bit better. There's things I liked in this film a little bit better than Suicide Squad. But overall, I think Suicide Squad was better on its arc and had more things that felt like a little bit going for it than this film. But overall, both films, to me, I feel like they're just good, but they're heavily flawed. I feel like they didn't learn their lesson.
If you're looking for more just pure like entertainment level, like rewatchability with a lot of fun, with action and things like that, both movies I feel like go hand in hand. Like, as far as like on that lighthearted, like, quippy kind of like trying to be like Marvel's kind of thing.
I will tell you right now, somewhat entertained with this, but I don't think I would necessarily, in my opinion, feel like this was a strong rewatchability type film. That's just me. Some things was not clicking very right with me. So getting into our pros, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, she's the highlight yet again, and of course this is mainly her film, even though it's about Birds of Prey, which she's not involved in. She's working with them, but she steals the show yet again. She's what keeps me invested in both films, and I would like to officially see them do a really good movie that I fucking love with her in it.
Well, and that's the thing, that this one, they basically made it to where it was like that. In my opinion, I felt like, because really she's the only one that really has like the most like focus in the film, it's really more about Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. And with that being said, there is a lot of things that I can appreciate with what they do with her here, especially with her doing things on her own without the Joker, and just the balance that she finds with going crazy, and then also find that kind of lightheartedness on a small level when she meets that little girl. So there are things that the movie brings to the character that I thought was a warm kind of
all right, let's go. Let me go in kind of order so I can keep everything close together. I said Margot Robbie is the highlight. Yes, I liked her. She's definitely a good pro. I thought the rest of the clan was okay. Rosie Perez, I think is her name. She, for some reason, always cracks me the fuck up.
Yeah.
She made me laugh so hard in fucking Pineapple Express. She's funny as hell. I wish we could see more of her.
Yeah.
She is hilarious. Again, the comedy lines in this film was good. I don't think they're
not as... I felt like they're not as, like... Because I actually had more funnier... I thought it was more funnier, I think, in Suicide Squad with the timing of the quips and stuff.
Yeah, the quips were way better in Suicide Squad.
But I will say this, though. One of my biggest highlights, stealing Steelers the most, to a certain extent, of course, is Ewan McGregor. Yes. Because I gotta admit, like, his performance is that very flamboyant style of his. Yeah. And he was able to not only bring something that's, it's come across as kind of campy, he still actually has it to where he balances out with that, but also there are points where he gets fucking dark, where he actually has intimidating points.
His performance... Ewan McGregor's performance, like telling him just to do something different, I will give him a lot of credit on. Now, I heard criticism, which I'm going to agree on a con part, and that has to do with something with him being Black Mask and doing that, because Black Mask is a serious character, and he's playing flamboyant. So it's like, now, I'm not trying to compare to this shithole, but it's almost like he took like a Jesse Eisenberg approach, going a different route with a villainous character. Now, he ain't as bad as that. No, he was not bad, like, on that fucking level. That was epically bad.
This made more... To me, I felt like...
But he did have some great dark scenes that I thought worked. I love the mask, the suit. He wore the white thing going on. He had the suits going on. As far as the Birds of Prey... I said Rosie Perez was pretty funny. I don't know if I'm a minority here on this, but for some reason I don't find Mary Elizabeth Winstead a very good actress. I don't think she's talented, but I do like her character Huntress. I'm really interested in the backstory and how she becomes who she is.
Yeah.
But I don't find her a good actress. I've noticed, and if you look at her filmography, she has a lot of shit storm movies.
I think... I mean, to me, I think that she still was fine as Huntress, but and to an extent, I liked her character. I just think that she definitely has potential to be set up in possibly a future spinoff or something that would work better for that character.
Exactly.
But to an extent, I think that she still brought something to it that worked. But she was just fine.
Another thing I will say that I liked about this film, another pro, like Suicide Squad, I love the colors, the cinematography with the whole purple, blue. I mean, it fits Harley Quinn. And I will say that this film did one thing better than Suicide Squad, and Harley Quinn pulled out a lot of her Harley Quinn tools.
She did,
and that we didn't get to see much of. Remember, she was just carrying a bat in this one. This one, she's got the hammer. She's doing like fucking crazy ass fucking shit with. Like, it made me feel like the scenes were like you had to play in a video game when you're taking her on, and it feels like the Mad Hatter's type world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that, and I will say that two other big ass. 3 pros I'm going to give this film is, one, I was actually impressed with some of the fucking gore.
Yeah, this really got fucking brutal. It was kind of going on, because the movie was basically kind of doing what Deadpool did while trying to do that whole self-aware type kind of humor, with mixing in with all the brutal shit going on and all that, so it kind of dipped that level with it.
So there's brutal shit, and I will say that. I love the third act. The third act. I love the third act, especially whenever they give her the setting where she belongs in, and it's that carnival world.
Yeah, the amusement park.
Yeah, amusement park with the whole funhouse feel. I love that. It fits her. I remember playing games against her, and you take her on, and you're in that fucking
The Arkham
setting.
games were like that. Yeah.
And I like that whole, like, foggiest bridge thing pier they were on towards the end.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
haunting.
It was.
That was pretty cool, and it kind of reminded me of something like Penguin would hang out in.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it was weird, but that and
I gotta admit, the film also, to a certain degree, I like the way that the movie was able to show the choreography with the action scenes are pretty good too. There's some pretty badass fight scenes.
That was my other one I was want to bring up is the choreography. I will admit that was really fucking impressed with the fight scenes in this. Holy shit, they were fucking killing it. These girls killed it in the choreography. Yeah. I mean, there were fucking kicks. I mean, just timing. I'm talking about John Wick timing.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, damn. I could not impressed with that.
Hey, these chicks need to team up with John Wick and start kicking ass because they're doing shit like he would do. You know?
But other than that, let's get into our cons now. One of the things that really bothered me probably the most in this film, I'm gonna get that out of the way, is the structure. I get where they were coming from because I've seen films do this, and I felt like the film did it poorly on this level. And that is the it's not the self-aware thing, it's the rewind ability where they'll tell a story, then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that, and then like that will say, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that, and it goes into that scene. And they do this all over the place. While they do cover pretty much almost everything eventually, and I've seen a film I think last year that did this, that structurally did it better. This one had me kind of lost for quite a while.
Yeah, because the movie it tries to do, because that was the same thing that Deadpool, the first one, did, where it was like current time, then you have like a Vince leading up to it.
Yeah, but
Deadpool did it better because it was still timed right, and they were able to pace it better, and it was edited together a lot more coherently. Yeah. This one, they were doing it for about the first like 30 minutes. I was like, man, we really need to pick up like where we're at right here.
Yeah, like when you do that, it's better to kind of get your backstory in like, what do you think, 10 to 15 minutes maybe?
About that.
15 really borderline it. But when it makes up majority of your movie, and then you have to rush to put the story together, that is a problem. Yeah. And I was kind of fucking lost, because not only, like, one thing they did wrong really on that kind of structure that other films don't do is whenever they do that, oh, let me back up a track, and then in that backup a track, they gotta back up another track in that track. I'm like,
yeah, it's like a flashback.
I'm fucking lost here.
Yeah,
and that really kind of really put a dent in my enjoyment of the film.
Yeah.
Another thing I will say that I did not care for is, all right, I said I had a pro con with Black Mass. The flamboyant thing is cool, and like he gave it his all, and I'll give him that, and the dark part really worked. But I just know from my experience of reading some and playing the games, is he's like a serious dick, and he's always on like a serious tone.
Yeah,
they didn't do that with this one. And that, another thing that kind of pissed me off was, I can't spoil the film, I'll do that in my spoiler, but the final end, and it kind of makes me think it's wasted potential that we might not see him in Batman, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah,
I was like, what? We're never gonna see them now.
Yeah.
Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, a wasted cool Batman villain was used in this, which I have no issue for. But then if you see the end, you kind of know, damn, we'll never see them. We'll never see them. That's what sucked about that. Even though it was kind of cool how it happened. But anyways, that was another issue. Some of the comedy didn't really hit on par with me.
Yeah, there was, because I had like, there were points where some of the parts were, I guess because the way that Margot Robbie delivered her lines in some parts, where even if it's not really balls out loud funny, like laugh out loud funny, there were still parts where I chuckled, but then there are other parts where I'm like, I'm not really feeling the comedy in some areas. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Some of it was hit and miss on some areas.
And another thing, I don't have no issue with self-aware movies, like being like a parody of itself, like which this film does. I felt like they overdid it, because it was constantly overly doing, hey, letting us know we're breaking the fourth wall, so on and so forth, and some of the shit just didn't really click with me.
Yeah, I guess I was just like, more like, because I was so like pleased of what I was seeing like on screen and everything. I didn't really have much of that issue, because I think it worked so well with how the movie's tone was, how the overall like movie was playing out basically.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't having that much of that issue because and to an extent with the narration and stuff, I also brought that with that character.
Like the entertainment value, I was actually kind of disappointed in. I felt like there would be way more entertainment than I did when I got out of it. Because even I have criticized Suicide Squad, I was entertained for the most part on a lot of shit. This one, I will say a little bit at times, I felt like the repetitiveness on certain things, I was kind of getting bored for a little bit. So, it just, for a type of film like this, I expected a lot more.
Well, I got you.
I was really wanted to see a lot more what they were going to do.
Right, and there's
like they undershot it.
And my biggest really complaint that I have is some of the story elements that they bring in. I felt like they were kind of thrown in there, and there really wasn't much to do. Like on her character standpoint, I felt like Renee, she really, like all the characters besides Harley Quinn, the actual Birds of Prey, I felt like there was more to them that we really should have got more out of.
Yeah, because if you think about it, this movie isn't called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. This movie's called Birds of Prey. We know Harley Quinn's not a Birds of Prey. She's pretty much teaming up to him to take on the Black Mask. The problem is it's called Birds of Prey, and there really wasn't much of a build-up to Birds of Prey.
Well, my biggest issue is just mainly the Rosie Perez's character, and then also Black Canary. I felt like there was some stuff in her character that, well, she really didn't have much going for her besides her being, the singer of the club.
I felt a lot of inconvenient shit happened in this film too, where she had this powers that she used towards the end of the movie. It's like, God damn, you were in a lot of dilemmas. Can you not save them?
Yeah, there's things that they happen that I'm like, what? Yeah, so it was really the problem with her character, and then also some of the stuff that were really left out with. But for the most part, though, I still was enthralled with what I watched. So with that, given for all the flaws the movie has, I still think that it was still a fun watch. And with that, I'm going to give the movie I'm going to go with probably a high average Joe on the Film Freaks meter on this one.
I'm going to just go average Joe on the Film Freaks meter. Because I gave Suicide Squad high average, and I felt like that was just a quite better structurally, and there was more with the other characters I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get average Joe on the Film Freaks meter.
Fair enough. Well, for those of you who have also seen Birds of Prey, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it, and stay tuned, and we'll be coming back with our spoiler discussion of the movie. We'll see you later.
Later.